Jason Freeman. I'm the captain of the Rock Creek Fire District. I'll talk to you guys today a little bit about the evolution of some of our fire tools and just how innovative and creative firefighters can be in repurposing tools that were meant for other things, and we adapt them over to our purposes. So the first thing I want to talk to you today about is the Halligan bar. It's a tool that we use on the structural side of firefighting. It's a pretty versatile tool. It was invented by a man named Hugh Halligan, who was a captain with the FDNY, and he adapted this tool from a previous tool that was also invented by a captain of the FDNY named Kelly. So the Kelly tool was similar, but it didn't have the pick head and it didn't have the forks on the end. It was just basically an adze with a bar on it. So in 1948, Hugh Halligan decided that he wanted to modify that tool. He added the pick and the fork and had a blacksmith build it. But unfortunately for him and for the FDNY in general at that time, the administration decided that created a conflict of interest. The FDNY would not purchase these for their engine companies for a long, long time. It was actually ended up being the Boston Fire Department that first put these into service for their engine companies. Over time, there were enough FDNY firefighters that were paying for these out of their own pocket that eventually the administration came to their senses and began to purchase these for all their engine companies. It's a very versatile tool. We have an adze here, we have a pick here, and we have a fork in here. Now with the adze, we can use this to defeat locked doors and things of that nature. And you can see here, we marked it at 1 3/4 inches, which is the standard door width, both metal and wooden doors. So if we have limited visibility conditions, we know we've sunk this tool all the way if we've got it to this mark. Part of the design function of this is to gain a mechanical advantage, right? So this is a 30-inch bar, and this adze is 2 inches wide. So once this is sunk, and you try on this end, you're actually gaining a 15-to-1 mechanical advantage. Additionally, we have the pick. We can use this to defeat padlocks by driving that pick in between the shackles on a padlock and hitting a striking surface here. We can use this to, when we're doing vertical ventilation, we can drive this into a roof. So we can stand on this and gain a foot purchase on top of the roof while we're doing vertical ventilation. We can also use this to knock pins out of hinges on outward swinging doors. We can use it to puncture a car hood for a vehicle that sustained heavy front end damage in a car accident or something like that. If we need to gain access to the battery, something like that, we can drive that through the hood and actually pry that metal back, and we can get access to the battery, so on and so forth. The fork end is a pretty versatile tool. I mean, it's not only a pry bar, but we can also use this to defeat hinges on outward swinging doors if they're visible. We can drive that up through the hinge and basically just pry them out of the doorway, and we can defeat locked doors that way too. And we can break windows with it. It's a very versatile tool. So that covers it for the structure side. And on the wildland side, the tool I want to talk to you about is the Pulaski tool. This was repurposed by a man named Ed Pulaski, who adopted it from a tool that had previously been in service as a gardening tool by the Collins Company in 1876. Theirs was basically just a hoe, didn't have the axe head on it, so he added that later on. What happened was, during the fires of 1910 in northern Idaho, there was a fire up there they called the Big Blow Up, and it burned several million acres and killed 87 people, most of whom were firefighters. Ed Pulaski is most famous because during that fire, the firefighters got into trouble and they had to take shelter in an old mining shaft. There were 45 of them. And the rumor is, it's unverified, but the rumor is that amongst those people there was a lot of panic, and guys were trying to get out of this mine shaft. You actually had to hold them at gunpoint to keep them in that shelter, and all but 5 of them survived because of that. After that fire, though, Ed Pulaski saw a need for better tools. So he created this. So now we've got the axe head, so we can chop sagebrush or smaller debris, things like that. And then with the hoe end, we can dig fire lines and fire breaks. So that pretty much covers it for the wildland side and the structure side. And again, just to summarize, the whole point is that firefighters are really, really great at taking existing ideas and repurposing those ideas or previously manufactured tools and turning them into our advantage. The Halligan bar hasn't changed in 70 years. And we've been using the Pulaski tool for 100 plus now, so that's really a testament to just how versatile and useful these tools are. So, thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and I will see you later.
Okay.